Hello YouTube, back again with another video. Today's title is going to be How to Become a Good Sorcerer. Some people know them as Rootworkers, Bokors. Well, today's answer is going to be failure. People's going to say, well, failure, what do you mean by failure? Because if you are not retarded, you should take your failure and not do it again. Mistakes. Some people, we say, they're just caught up in a cycle where they go, they're just caught up in this cycle where they just do the same thing over and over and over. What prevents a person from moving forward? It's by them taking another route or changing their approach or changing what they're doing or changing their lifestyle. So when you talk about doing dark work, if you find out that your work comes back to you, you don't stop. I mean, if you can catch it in a sense, if you can catch it when it's in spirit form, that's cool. But if you don't and it hits home and you got problems now, hey, you got to chalk it up to the game. You know, to be a sorcerer, you have to take what comes with it. You take full responsibility for what you do. So, there's a lot of people that think that the best way to become that is by reading a bunch of books and, and then doing a couple of things whatsoever which they hear from people talking. No, it doesn't work like that. Experimentation, experience. There's only so much that I can tell you. A lot of it has to do with your own experience, your own experimentations. How do you know if something works if you don't test it? You have to test your theories. You have to put it to the test. You have to put the iron to the fire. I say this, it's kind of hard for people to, I guess some people would kind of find it hard to see that, boom, they went out and did some dark work and they lost their job. Or they did some love work and boom, it caused them to separate with their girlfriend. You don't stop then. You don't stop. You got all these problems coming at you. That is your time for you to document your experience and change your approach. If you have to do work to clean it up, you clean everything up spiritually. Hey, you don't stop then. There's a lot of people that have taken a back door on their spiritual work. Especially the darker aspect of it. They feel like, oh, well, man, I almost died. I lost almost everything. It's all about how bad you want it. How bad do you want to master your craft? For me, I've had bones broken. I've had situations where certain people came and tried to attack me. I've had a lot of occasions where, I got into accidents based off of my work. I didn't stop because, and even on a financial situation, at one point in time, losing my home based on work backfiring on me. Did that stop me from doing my work? Hell no. I kept on going into it till I found what I need to find. So the thing about failure is that you can say, wow, now I know what it takes to activate this spirit. And if you are talking about being an instructor, you have to be able to guide these people. These people are learning under you. So they don't make the mistakes you made. And this is where it comes into play of being that person who has this experience. Because if you have people learning under you and you haven't made any trials and errors, how do you know what to tell your students? You can't just give them anything to do because you don't want the same thing to happen to them. So some people would think that I'm crazy for doing what I do. I mean, today, what? In the amount of 6 months time period, I got about nearly 340 something subscribers. What was it, 330 or something like that? I'm not even sure about the number now. But that comes from my experience, and people recognize the authenticity. Now, when it boils down to the things I say, things I write, people subscribe, people support my page on Facebook, and I also do work for people. If I didn't go through these experiences, how could I do work for anyone? So, I say this, magic, to be efficient at it, you have to go through the school of hard knocks. You know, you have to go through the school of hard knocks. You got to take your bumps and bruises. I mean, I guess you can't really see it here because the videos is light. What? I got a scar from here. Basically, work backfired on me. Something blew up whatsoever, and the metallic item jumped back and hit me in my skull. I got stabbed somewhere whatsoever. I mean, another stab wound in the head. You know what I'm saying? Basically, work backfiring on me. You know, basically, Goetia, dealing with the Goetia. You know, so I mean, today I can talk about these things, and I can do what I do well because I learned from my mistakes. I didn't do the same thing again, which got me in the position in the first place. I changed up my routine. I got back, got myself together, and basically said, you know what? I'm ready now. Went back, did it again. Everybody, anyone who's successful in magic, a successful magician, had to go through trial and error to get where they are today. They didn't just stop after the first bruise they got and they said, boom, I stopped. I mean, it's just like even with sports. You know, stunt daredevils, you know, whatever you want to call them, you know, just because they failed, you know, if you're talking about NBA, football, MMA, whatever, these guys lost. The fact they had to lose in some point in their life in the sport that they're in. But they didn't give up. They got up, took their L, and kept on moving. You know? You're going to make mistakes. You know, you're probably going to make a couple of mistakes. One mistake that's not enough. It's all depends on how bad you want it. This is what separates the authentic workers from the Quasimodo charlatans out there that claim, oh, I'm a Wunga and I come from Haiti and I can do good work for you and this and that, you know, blah, 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 just because they got Haiti attached to their name. A lot of these people talking about they Mombos and Wungas. They don't got a shred of experience whatsoever. Show me your Golden Glove fights. You know what I'm saying? These people just jump from, like, these guys didn't even do an amateur round in magical practices. They jumped to, like, okay, mainstream boxing. You know? Like, what the hell? You know, in order to get where you gotta go through your training. You gotta go through your amateur rounds. You gotta do your Golden Glove boxing, you know? Because this is heavyweight boxing. When you start dealing with, you know, the darker aspects of voodoo, you know, the dealing with the Pitwalois, you know, you got to do your amateur boxing before you can do that. If you're talking about Rada rituals, you got to go through your Rada rituals before you can start dealing with that hot stuff, you know. That's just the nature of spirit work. So with that said, I conclude this video. I am out. Like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.